In today's story, you're going to hear something you've never heard before. And by the end, I want your opinion. Is this story real or just a brilliant hoax? It was the night of May 14th, 2008. The kind of warm spring evening that feels full of possibilities. Brandon Swanson, a 19-year-old college student from Marshall, Minnesota, had just finished his final classes at Minnesota West Community and Technical College. He was celebrating the end of the semester with friends, just like any other teen. He wasn't drunk, he wasn't high, just happy. After the gathering, he got in his car around midnight to drive home to his parents in the nearby town of Marshall, a route he knew like the back of his hand. But Brandon never made it home. At 1:54 a.m., he called his parents in a panic. His voice was calm, but tense. He said he had driven into a ditch and couldn't get his car out. He wasn't hurt. He just needed a ride. They got in the car to find him, phone in hand, GPS ready. But something was off. He said he could see the lights of a nearby town. He even described passing fences, hearing running water, and walking toward what he thought was a familiar point. Brian tried flashing his headlights, honking, calling out. Nothing. Brandon kept saying, "I see you. I'm right here, but you're not seeing me." The strange thing? He wasn't where he thought he was. They were in Lind, but his car was eventually found 25 miles away, near Taunton. Brandon was completely disoriented. Or was someone intentionally misleading him? Then suddenly, around 2:30 a.m., he shouted, "Oh sh!" and the line went dead. He never picked up again. At sunrise, TPAP police were notified, but they didn't take it seriously. After all, TPA Brandon was 19. TPAD, an adult. He'd probably just wandered off and would come back, but his parents knew better. His car was found abandoned the next morning. Doors locked, no damage, no signs of struggle. Search teams, strangers, dogs, tireless, and helicopters were deployed. They searched ditches, the Wurgers, Farmsers, Delander of Manage, Mazing Bod, Mazing Death, and Something Rivers. For weeks, nothing. The only trace ever found. Tracking dogs followed Brandon's scent down a gravel road. He's old managing. 1, across a field. 2-8. Tynet. Treat. Through a river. Then, it just stopped, like he vanished mid-step. The scent trail dogs followed, took investigators on a haunting path. Brandon's steps led away from the road, through a wide field, then toward a shallow creek. He'd mentioned, over the phone, hearing running water. Maybe this was it. The dogs tracked him to the riverbank, and then, strangely, to the middle of the river. They kept following, across the water, as if he had walked right through it. On the other side, his trail picked up, again for a short distance, then vanished completely. There were no signs of slipping, drowning, or panic. No torn clothes, no belongings, just gone. The water was too shallow to drown in, unless something happened, a seizure, or someone else. Some believed the river swallowed him. Others said, no way. He made it across. Something else happened. But what could erase a person without a single trace? Most disappearances fade into cold files, but not this one. Not with Brian and Annette Swanson leading the charge. His parents didn't stop. Day after day, they combed through miles of land with volunteers, search dogs, sonar, and even cadaver dogs. They printed flyers, held press conferences, knocked on farmhouse doors, and still, nothing. Not even Brandon's cell phone, which had stayed on for hours after the call ended. They tried pinging it, but coverage was sparse. His last known signal came from a tower far from where he claimed to be. His mother said, something chilling. In an interview, it's like he stepped into another dimension. One moment, he was talking to us. The next, he was nowhere. This wasn't just a case of a lost teen. It became a living nightmare. A family looking for their son in a place that didn't seem to follow the rules of reality. By the way, if you're into strange and unbelievable true stories like this one, make sure to subscribe. We drop a new story every single day, and trust me, they only get wilder from here. Now, back to it. As the months dragged on, the mystery took a darker turn. Some believed Brandon had been abducted after the call. Maybe someone picked him up. Others suspected he might have faked his disappearance and escaped to start over. But there was no motive, no indication of distress, debt, or depression. He was a happy, social, focused young man. A fringe theory even surfaced. What if he saw something he wasn't supposed to that night? An illegal farm operation? A hidden body? One investigator said privately, "There are things out here people don't talk about. It's rural, yes, but not always peaceful." Then came the most unsettling theory of all. Maybe he was still alive, watching, silent, too afraid, or too confused to come back. Summer turned to fall, then winter. Still, no sign of Brandon. Yet locals near the Taunton area, where his car was found, started whispering. A farmer claimed to hear shouting near his barn late at night. Another said he saw a man walking barefoot along a dirt path in the fog, only for the figure to vanish when headlights passed. The police investigated, but found nothing. Was it guilt-driven imagination or something else? One farmer swore, "It was him. I've seen that face on the flyers. The eyes, they were scared. Like he was running from something invisible." To this day, these reports remain unconfirmed and unexplained. For the Swanson family, not knowing was worse than death. A body brings closure. An answer, even a tragic one, gives peace. But silence? It's a slow kind of madness. Every call, every knock on the door, every unknown number could be Brandon. Annette once said, "I still expect him to walk through that door. I dream about it." They kept his room untouched. The last voicemail he left, still saved. Even his laundry, never moved. Grief without proof becomes a loop. Hope, dread, denial, repeat. The kind of wound that bleeds quietly, every single day. Brandon's disappearance revealed a chilling truth. In Minnesota, adults reported missing weren't always searched for immediately, especially if there were no signs of foul play. That changed because of Brandon. In 2009, lawmakers passed Brandon's Law, which required immediate police response and coordination, no matter the age of the missing adult. His case reshaped policy. It forced departments to treat disappearances with urgency before it was too late. The Swanson said, "It was bittersweet. We couldn't bring our son home, but maybe someone else's child will be found because of him." Brandon vanished, but his name stayed behind, etched into law. Years passed. New search teams came and went. Technology improved. Drones, sonar, infrared, DNA tools. But Brandon Swanson remains one of the most baffling missing persons cases in U.S. history. No body, no phone, no evidence of a crime. Just a young man who walked into the night while on the phone and vanished. Some say he met with foul play after that phone call. Others think he succumbed to the cold or a fall. And a few still whisper, maybe he's alive. Somewhere. Watching. Afraid to come back. But the question remains, how does someone disappear? In the middle of a phone call. The story of Brandon Swanson isn't just about a disappearance. It's about how fragile certainty really is. How one wrong turn, one moment of disorientation can split a life into before and after. And how even technology, love, and persistence can't always bring someone back. We like to believe people don't just disappear. That if we try hard enough, we'll find answers. But Brandon's case defies all of that. The phone call was real. The footprints were real. But everything else? Just shadows and echoes. Before the line cut off that night, Brandon's last word to his father was, "Oh shit." That moment has echoed in his parents' minds for years. Was he startled? Did he fall? Did he see something or someone? That terrified him. We'll never know. Brandon's story isn't about closure. It's about how fragile a person's presence can be, and how deeply one moment of silence can change dozens of lives. If Brandon is out there, or watching from beyond, one thing is certain. He is not forgotten. But something about this story doesn't feel finished. What do you think happened? Leave your theory in the comments. And if this story gave you chills, wait until tomorrow. Because every single day, we uncover real stories darker than fiction. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more.